examples of these reformations of teams who maybe weren't performing so well before in South America. Revolts comes to mind. They introduced a new DPS player, went on to win every single game afterwards. So never say die with Skyfoxes as we open up here on Gardens. Hey, Claris. Is this gonna happen?
No Silence of the Lambs jokes for this guy today. Skyfoxes, man, I love that name. No name, that's a great battle tag. And it's good to see Kalios on that diva as well. Skyfoxes are looking up at XL2 Academy. They are on opposite sides of the standings, as you said. The sandwich, they are the bread. But every map that Skyfoxes takes is just one for to take XL2 off of the top side, but as well, they're not eliminated from playoff contention. They've only lost 2 games, and if they're able to upset XL2 Academy, things may be very different here in this group. But we're gonna go ahead and start this game off, and Claris, sorry, I'm gonna have to stop. Claris is gonna be on that Pharah. Very, very good on this map for Lijiang Tower, already at 40% on that ult charge.
Yeah, that is a lot of beefy bodies soaking up a ton of damage. XL2, they do have control of the point right now, but they have to be watching the skies. Hope they brought their umbrella made of titanium, because Claris is ready to rain down. But sometimes those rockets with that damage buff just find the Zenyatta in the very back, and Skyfoxes with a huge opening.
Yeah, Claris doing his best David cosplay, going and taking down Goliath. Mangachu is going to get the kill with on Brigitte, on Claris himself. So, you know, maybe flying a little bit too low on the ground. XL2, though, you know, they got the kills. They have the advantage right now. There is no diva on the other side with the res. There will be. No Name getting the DMAC as well. Mangachu is gone. No Name translocating out just in the nick of time. But Skyfox is challenging XL2 on the objective right now.
Yeah, and it was such a back and forth fight, a crucial resurrection from Cherry Ring actually to bring Kalios back up instead of Claris, what you might really expect, especially given how quickly that Pharah went down. But it's actually going to be Skyfoxes grabbing this point first. Such a long brawl, and throughout the entirety, they never took a foot off of the point, always keeping in contestation. And so now XL2 actually going to be forced to swap logics onto that McCree. Oh, what a beautiful McCree as well. But, you know, just to counter Skyfox's composition here.
Goliath has the Transcendence. Uyal has a self-destruct. Claris is going to get his counter, which is Logic's. Logic's known for how good he is on hit skip, particularly the Widowmaker, but has popped off on McCree in the past. We're going to have to wait a little while longer to see that, as both teams are going to be having a lot of ultimates. Somehow Doozy does go down, so XL2 Academy, because the way that these kills worked out, are going to have 6 before Skyfoxes get 6 again, but the ultimates from both sides are coming online. Skyfoxes has that Primal Rage, which is very strong on it. Gardens, which is where we are here on Lijiang. Claris pushing damage and buttering up the rest of XL2 Academy. Kalios is down on the ground. Going to have to use that self-destruct to save himself. Transcendence is going to save the Larval Diva as well. But this is a 6v5 for Skyfoxes on the point, who are closing in on 60% on the objective. Self-destruct now from XL2, and is going to get Doozy. Doozy will be going down first. Once again, Rocket Barrage now is trying to get the rest of XL2 Academy. Only gets Logix, whose job it is to take that Pharah out of the air. Doozy is going to get res. They're not used to that right now. Mercy is not a character they see very often, and so things are going to be very even here. Sound Barrier now from XL2 going to get everybody. Logix is back at spawn. He's going to be walking through. It's going to be, you know, he's got to use those little legs. He's got to try to sprint and roll into this point, because they have to take this Pharah out of the air.
Yeah, no, this Pharah is doing amazing things for Skyfoxes right now. Finds Goliath once again. Logix! Oh, shut down. Nobody cares what time it is, man. Especially not no name, no watches. Skyfox is still maintaining control of this point, now taking up 95% for their side. XL2, they do have this positioning. It seems likely that they're going to be able to flip it over time now. Skyfoxes will give it up, give XL2 just a little bit of time to breathe, but it was so incredibly close, Boob.
Yeah, Claris doing some work up in the sky. Logic's getting killed after high noon and getting that Deadeye out. Clone Man 16, really good guy, really good. Reinhardt has that Earth Shatter. As Skyfoxes walks in, they're going to have to be looking for that. Goliath has what he needs to protect that Reinhardt as well, but Clone Man needs to get a big Shatter off if they really want to maintain on this point. Uyal does have the self-destruct coming up as well. The self-destruct from Skyfoxes will be coming down first and pop Logics out of this map. So this is 65 for Skyfoxes. Transcendence is coming from both sides. The self-destruct from Huyao needs to be big, but it might not even get to go off because of an EMP. Rocket Barrage not going to get anything, but Megachu's going to go down. So there's only 4 people on this objective for XL2 right now. Boatman finally using that Earth Shatter, but Luna's the only one that is going to go down. He's going to have to pin back onto the objective. Ham, Skyfoxes are going to win this round.
Skyfoxes coming back now. Oh, with the resurrection onto Luna, that long distance damage, and more importantly, that Discord Orb going to shred through all of XL2 Academy. Goliath is down now from their side. No damage, no healing from XL2. Claris getting put under pressure now. He is close to 50% yet again to a barrage, but with the loss of Luna, this is now dangerous territory.
I might have spoken to too soon. Skyfoxes needed to clean that up, but the time to kill was too long. Logics came back with that Tracer, but the trades are halving. 3 kills on either side, so XL2 only have 3 members on this point, but the EMP is going to hit everyone left on XL2. The stall from XL2 has been real, but Skyfoxes has been ahead on all portions of this fight. They were able to take the point back, but Kalios remech right in front of the enemy team, so he's not going to be able to get back in there. Claris is going to have to go back to spawn and join the rest of his team. Somehow XL2 still in this. This is a pattern for Skyfoxes. Being ahead in the fight, they should have won this round.
Yeah, it was no question. They had almost every advantage there. XL2 clinging on with their toenails, but Logic's coming back on this Tracer actually threw a real wrench into Skyfox's game plan. Now they have, XL2 has a hyper mobile bursty DPS, able to dodge all of that as far as rockets, and Claris now actually going to swap onto the McCree expressly for Logix.
And so Logix is going to be on that Tracer. It's a character that he is known for, as well as Goliath getting this kill. This is 65 for XL2. The stun grenade onto Lucio is not going to do anything. Claris is going to get booped off. So is Cherry Ring. Jur doing some work there at the end. I am so frustrated right now because Skyfoxes had that. They would have had the momentum, and they were beating XL2 hard on a lot of this round of Gardens.
Yeah, and look at the way that they were comboing those ultimates. Luna does go down here, but I do... Oh no, this is the later fight. We get those 2 beautiful boops from Jur, who is really pulling his weight right here. Claris, oh no, Lucio's coming up from behind, booping him into the pond. But you're right, Boop. It's like you're waiting to sneeze, and it just never comes, right? It's one of those worst feelings ever. Skyfoxes had it tied up. That Pharah, once you get that Pharah into the defensive position, it's so much easier to hold with that hero, but unfortunately they weren't able to cross that finish line, forced to swap onto the McCree with very little time left, and now XL2, they are up 1-0 here on lead down.
The thing about XL2 is the longer the fight goes, the better they get, so these long extended fights will be in the advantage of the more experienced teams. That is just for this matchup particularly, but the pattern has been set for XL2, and look at Megachu already at pretty much 50% on that rally, the fastest one to that so far. Claris doing the same thing. Claris looked very good on that Pharah. Is not going to be repping it here as Logix is going to get the first kill onto Claris, but Jur is going to go down. That's a better kill for Skyfoxes, but Skyfoxes are playing a little scared. They gave XL2 the point.
Yeah, Skyfoxes looking a lot more hesitant on Control Center than they did on Gardens. They're on the GOATS composition. They know they have a bit of a disadvantage having those roster swaps up against XL2 Academy, full of veteran players who have been working together for the duration of this season. But now they'll have both of those supportive ultimates coming back in here. It's time to go in and get some kills.
Oh, that Fire Strike gave Foeman that Earth Shatter. He's going to go ahead and knock it down. Brigitte is on the ground, making sure to use the rally at the same time. Transcendence from Skyfoxes too. Goliath has a Transcendence when that Graviton Surge does come out, and that's exactly what we're going to see. The damage, though, was there for a second. The Transcendence was a tad bit late, but if he didn't have it, the rest of XL2 would be going back to spawn, but that's not the reality we're living in. Skyfoxes has an Earth Shatter from it. Doozy does whiff. Graviton Surge is going to get the rest of Skyfoxes in the back line. Sound Barrier now coming out from both sides. Self-destruct on both sides as well. One will find value, the other will not, as Huyao can get 2 kills.
Big, massive self-destruct to seal the deal, but it actually all began with a missed shield bash from Claris to try and set up that Earth Shatter from Dulz. It could have been a different story had that ultimate landed, but now Skyfoxes invested too heavily in that fight. They're only going to have that Graviton Surge, maybe Luna's Transcendence for this next go, potentially their last shot, depending on how long this battle drags out.
The Graviton Surge from No Name does get a most of XL2, but the support is there. We don't see Graviton Graviton Surge is making that much of an impact without the Shield Bash and the Self-Destruct. We've seen actually some really good Graviton zoning surges. CloneMan16 has that Earth Shatter and will be taking down OWC, and so the Transcendence from Skyfoxes has been forced out. No support ultimates on their side.
Yeah, that is unfortunately how you set up for an Earth Shatter with that Shield Bash. We saw it from Tuz's point of view. A Shatter now in spawn. Skyfoxes know they have precious few seconds left.
But they do get 2 kills, but they have to make it on to the objective to force overtime. We're at 99. No one makes it there. XL2 will be winning. Lijiang Tower going up 1-0. Skyfoxes very competitive on that first round, though.
Yeah, it looked like an entirely different team, wholly comfortable with that pharmacy composition, but unfortunately, when it did come time to play on Control Center, Goats still reigns supreme on that sub-map. They definitely didn't look quite as ready in terms of those combos. You saw a few of the abilities not quite landing there, and with that, XL2 will walk away with the win.
One thing that I know about XL2 is that experience pays off. These guys have been playing for a very, very long time. Every one of them has a recognizable name, and when you're in these situations, hey, you might have, took the foot off the pedal a little bit on the first round, but we come here on Control Center, and they pipped it up a little bit. They're like, yeah, all right, we got to take this seriously. We got to do this, and they wrecked them on the second round.
Time to play with your hands, boys.
Yep.
Exactly. And XL2 Academy were able to deliver right here, living up to their name. And Skyfox is putting on a big show, but sometimes you just need those key abilities to land. You don't get those bigger bang self-destruct combos without that work.
And you got to work together, right? It's all, it's all about the teamwork, right?
Work.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
I'm pretty sure that's, no.
Yeah, you should let them sing it. Oldest one in the book, still hits really hard, but this Pharah from Claris, they didn't know how to deal with it at first. XL2 really struggled on, hey, do I get the Pharah out of the air, or do I focus on the ground game? That used to be a decision that every Pharah, that when Pharmacy was really popularized in the meta before this, every team had to make, but they looked like they were a little rusty on it.
Yeah, XL2 probably not expecting Claris's efficacy on this Pharah. Does not mean confidence, by the way, Boop. It means he was very effective, able to get tons of damage in, and using those ultimates you saw a little bit earlier in this replay to cover for things like those resurrections. A lot of really good team play coming from Skyfoxes, just not with that Goats composition specifically. So if we do move on into those maps, we start getting to hybrid, escorts, those places where we could see a little bit more diversity with those hero selections. That might be where Skyfoxes find their footing.
Well, Numbani is going to give Logix an opportunity to play some hit scan as well. McCree does pop up on the attacking and defensive side here, frequently. I guess as frequently as pocket pits do usually pop up.
We've cast him on McCree on Numbani. So yeah, it certainly works out very well. Like a Zenyatta, isn't it hilarious that McCrees are now like Zenyatas instead of the other way around? But yes, we do see quite a lot of Zenyatta damage coming from that backline. McCree fills the same space. You can run the rest of Goats around that McCree. That's one of the reasons that this composition is so versatile. You just swap out, one of the heroes and set him up on the high ground where he can essentially play just duck hunt, free firing from down onto the heads of the rest of the enemy team with very little fear of getting jumped on.
It's like elephants protecting their young, right? They circle around it,
right.
And then the McCree's in the middle, just using that pea shooter, that 6-shooter, and putting down that damage. And one thing is for sure, Skyfoxes should feel pretty confident coming into this. They really did challenge XL2 on that first round of Gardens, so they have the capability of playing that way. It's all about putting together, and again, the name of the game in Overwatch is consistency, particularly in this meta.
And wise fight choice as well. We saw, a couple of times of overinvestment from Skyfoxes on the down. You want to be able to recognize when the fight is done, beat a quick retreat, and get back into it with your full 6. But XL2 Academy on the defense this time around. No surprises here. Clone Man on the Winston to make usage of those ledges, but Skyfoxes rolling out once again with the Sombra Pharah dive, and I feel like a new woman every time I see like new heroes coming out onto new heroes. Not as often played heroes coming out of spawn. It just feels so refreshing.
You gotta liven this up somehow, and Claris livened it up on Lijiang Tower. Very accurate on this Pharah. Gonna be pushing Huyal back, and it's gonna put a lot of damage in there. Splash damage isn't as much, but XL2 knows exactly how to deal with it this time. They ignore the Pharah in the air, they take people off of the ground, and now they can push Pharah back.
Yeah, it was a slow push from Skyfoxes through that small upper hallway, and unfortunately, Claris not able to do enough damage to ward away the rest of XL2. They were able to secure a couple of those kills. But the good news is Pharah is very close to that barrage. This is what Dive needs, that early power spike when those DPS ultimates come online, because, you know, face it, there's no way for those divers to sustain against goats on the objective itself. You need to have those ultimates.
Well, someone from Skyfoxes is on the point right now, and that is going to be No Name on that Sombra, who's very close to that EMP. Oh, Huyal does no longer have that mech, so there's only one tank available for XL2. Skyfoxes also have that Rocket Barrage, and there's no Goliath, so there's no Discord Orb for XL2 either. The Rocket Barrage will be enough for Skyfoxes to grab this first point, but I don't want to speak too soon. No, I did last time, but I'm pretty confident, 99.99% confident, that Skyfoxes are going to be taking this first point. XL2 are going to have to defend on streets.
You know what they say, 0 defenders, 100% chance of success. And Skyfox is able to clean up with Claris's barrage right there. That is how you play it. A really, really good move as well from the tanks of Skyfoxes. Wear down Huyal, demech that Diva, pave the way for that Pharah to get value from that barrage. Now, No Name going to be looking for that EMP before he maybe switches, as Claris has also swapped onto the Brigitte.
Oh, this is a good opportunity for him to drop that EMP. Are you going to do it? Yes, you are. The Transcendence came out just in time from Goliath, though. Maybe you knew that the EMP was coming. Megachu will get that first pick onto Luna. The payload's going to stop right here.
Yeah, those Zenyatta senses tingling. He can feel somebody whispering his name. Achoo! Goliath is somebody calling? No Name trying his best with that EMP, but XL2 Academy ready to respond. And now, once again, is going to be back to that GOATS composition. Skyfoxes, though, do have a disadvantage. They've just swapped their entire team comp, so likely going to have to take a couple of eco pushes, draw a few of the ultimates out of XL2.
Rally has been launched from the Megachu. Graviton Surge is going to come from XL2 as well, and the bodies are going to fall. Skyfox is only getting a self-destruct kill and a demech during that fight. XL2 get much more.
Yeah, and Kaleo is actually going to be demeched as well. A little bit more painful of a stagger. Jur actually going to mercifully send the Diva on her merry way back to spawn. Skyfoxes seemed ready, though, to take that lost fight, recognizing that XL2 Academy probably still have more ultimates at the ready, not going to be investing too much more than a self-destruct into that fight. And XL2, they want to take a clean fight as well. Going to be giving up a little bit of space right here. Huyal ready with the self-destruct. He could send Skyfoxes scattering with an early ultimate.
Cloneman can send those scattering with his fists as well. He's going to go ahead and pop that Primal Rage and throw those Fisty Cups, knocking the Reinhardt into the rest of the team. Soundbarrier going to keep Cloneman alive. He's got a little prickly for him. Log is going to get Doozy in the end, so all of those punches doing its work, knocking Doozy into the rest of XL2. They take him down, and Skyfoxes has to cede that space.
Yeah, Clone Man on this Winston has been quite a bit more effective than Doozy on this Reinhardt. That's one of those things every time you go onto the streets phase of these map types, you have to be able to make usage of that verticality, dropping down onto the heads of Skyfoxes, dropping that bubble, breaking those lines of sights for the enemy Zenyatta. Those are all really great things that will disrupt this GOATS composition that needs all of the moving pieces to be working at maximum efficiency.
Now No Name has the Graviton Surge. Transcendence is going to be launched before it does. Skyfoxes only have that Graviton Surge now, but Doozy is going to go ahead and get Goliath out of this game, so no Transcendence for him. Goliath deciding to save it for a better opportunity, but will it come? With No Name going down, the Graviton Surge not going to do anything. XL2 can have their own Graviton Surge, and that cleave damage from Clone Man, who is low on the high ground, going to be doing some work, but finally they do take him down. Self-destruct above the payload, will get 2 kills, 2.5 make that. XL2 are going to have to cede this space. Skyfox is possibly getting this point.
Yeah, looks likely XL2 just going to give it up, and that is why you run a Reinhardt, folks, for those juicy roadside bomb combinations, I would call it. Earth Shatter into Diva self-destruct. There's really no defense, and now Clone Man actually going to swap onto the Reinhardt as well for this third point push. A lot of tight corners where you can really make usage of that good shielding, have that Earth Shatter to set up for those team wiping ultimate combos.
And so we're here on point 3. Skyfoxes have 3 minutes to finish Numbani. XL2 making that hard. Megachu particularly getting that double kill. Clone Man got the pin on at the end, getting taken down very, very low, but there's no damage to be found because they're all back at spawn. them.
Yeah, and if they're not dead already, XL2 pushing forward aggressively. Skyfox is potentially not expecting such an aggressive defense right around this first corner, but this is one of the best places to try and hold up close, almost spawn camp the enemy as you can use that payload to provide a little bit of cover. This corner is very difficult. Skyfoxes, if this push should fail, they might actually just go the high ground.
But they don't have much at their disposal. They will have some support ultimates. Rally then launched for a Mangachu. The damage mitigation on that armor is on everyone right now. Mangachu doing a ton of damage, and when you're doing damage, you're also doing healing. When you're that Brigitte, Earthshatter did go down, and that's why you're seeing Cherry Ring on that kill feed right now. Transcendence was a little late to save Cherry Ring. Cherry Ring would have had that sound barrier for the rest of this fight, but it doesn't seem to matter. The XL2 playing very, very patiently right now. They know they have an ultimate advantage. There's no need to invest a ton into it, just like Skyfoxes is right now. Sound barrier now for XL2 Academy. I love the way they are using their ultimates right now, using them when they need them. It's not a lot of just instinct, it's the actual practice that they're using right now. Self-destruct now coming from XL2, going to get Claris. Skyfox is getting manhandled and completely controlled in this fight.
Yeah, XL2 Academy seem to be holding all of the cards in these fights, even though they layered the sound barrier and the transcendence of that last defense. Skyfox is still not able to take advantage. Duza got, bodied away from the rest of the team, and again, Logic saw that opportunity, dropped the Graviton Surge, and there was no way any shielding was going to get to Skyfoxes to save him from Wuyell's self-destruct. So, once again, it comes down to those big combos. You have to be able to line them up. Kalios and No Name have that opportunity, but Mangachu trying to sow disruption.
That's what you call an aggressive Brigitte, my friends. And so Mangachu is going to be on fire, but will be in that unwilling hug. Self-destruct is behind. I don't know the last time I saw a quadruple kill self-destruct, but remember today, folks, today was the day that Kalios got 4 kills on that self-destruct. Good work.
Set up by a great charge from Dulza as well. You don't see it that often. That beautiful Reinhardt just like flying through the death ball, caught in that Graviton Surge, and Skyfoxes may have just found their ticket to a Dorado finish. XL2 Academy, no ultimates online to try and defend this.
They only have 32 seconds left to try to finish Dorado, and they only have a Transcendence. Rally will be coming. Skyfoxes, though, aren't going to get that rally because Cloman's going to get the kill onto Claris. That's a big deal for Skyfoxes. They're at a very large disadvantage. The Graviton Surge is going to be in the backline. What's pretty telegraphed is interesting that it wasn't eaten by Kalios. Maybe the defense matrix was already over. Transcendence now is going to help everyone who is taking that nap from that Earthshatter. Sound barrier is going to be launched for Skyfoxes now, but the way that they're getting these kills, they are staggering them out. Skyfoxes will not get 5 or 6 for a very, very long time. After Kalios' 4 kills, 2 just doesn't feel as good, but it's still a big deal as round 1 is complete. Skyfox is unable to grab that 3rd point.
Oh, Wuyell just with the 2K. How disappointing, but it's exactly what XL2 Academy needed. Skyfoxes, it felt like they were racing against all odds this entire time. XL2 Academy looking comfortable even when they were on the back foot. Look at the patience right there from Jur, waiting for Cherry Ring to drop that sound barrier first, knowing that XL2 Academy had more tools in their back pocket at Earthshatter from Clone Man to seal the deal right there. It seems to be just, about getting more bang for your buck. A lot of these ultimates coming online at the same time, it all just, comes down to, well, where was the positioning? What was the thinking behind this? A lot of times the support that ults last does get a little bit more value from it because for certain there won't be an enemy sound barrier Transcendence coming your way.
Something that XL2 did really well in that last round as well was extend fights that they knew they were going to win. If a fight is long and you're in the driver's seat the whole time, you can take a minute off of the clock. When they had those 5 ultimates, they used one right after another. That fight was long, and again, they were in control that whole time, taking a ton of time off the clock. Maybe that 30 seconds is what they needed to finish this map.
Yeah, very possible. XL2 Academy expertly controlling the tempo of these games with those with that ultimate cycling. And Skyfoxes, to their credit, they were trying something totally new, and that Pharah look was actually probably the best look that they had this entire map.
Both times.
Yeah, both
like
times.
On Lijiang as well.
Yeah, crazy. But Claris now going to be on that Pharah counter, the McCree, for Skyfoxes to try and hold this defense. Things to watch out for, certainly sneaky Sombra's Logics. Oh, maybe gonna stay on this.
Scout.
Okay, all right, maybe just Scout,
maybe
and I can still try and have hopes and dreams.
He's gonna translocate back to spawn. Yep. And so now that they know where everyone is going, that scout very valuable against a team like Skyfoxes, since Claris has played a lot of pocket picks so far. You know, they've been off of Goats more, you know, they've been on those pocket picks more than you've seen the traditional Goats composition, that triple tank, triple support. Claris on that McCree. We've seen this on Nubani. Let's see if it's going to be effective here on the defense. And you're seeing why the McCree works. It's just this high ground, this verticality that he's able to use and shoot everyone's head from that high ground. Get that high noon very, very quickly. And Huyo getting taken low, but off to the side. Logic's going to get the kill onto No Name. We talked about Huyo going low, but they're not going to get the confirmed kill on that mech. They're giving him an opportunity to get back in it. He's already at 66%. Pretty accurate with that baby bunny blaster. XL2 Academy on the point right now. Already got 2 ticks. This was a slow, drawn-out fight again. And the longer the fight, the better XL2 gets, I swear.
That is one of the strengths of Goats. They want to brawl. They want to be at melee range, charging that Zarya energy, getting that hammer damage in. So those long fights play right into the hands of XL2 Academy. They are not working with that clock. A McCree, you really need to get up to that ultimate once again when you're coming up against Goats, and unfortunately Claris just didn't quite have enough of an opportunity there.
So Logix is at 70% on that ultimate charge. The particle barrier on himself is down, so he's actually going to be susceptible to some damage for the next about 5 seconds. Is it going to matter? I don't think so. Skyfoxes, I don't think, are going to aggress within that time. XL2 have all 6. Skyfoxes have all 5. Yeah, Claris is going to go down. If Claris isn't the one getting the kills, he is the first to fall frequently in these fights.
It does seem to be the tale of Brigittas in many of these Goats compositions. You go, you maybe put yourself at risk to try and make a play, but if that doesn't connect, then you yourself become the victim in that fight. And XL2 Academy may just get a free point B. Looks likely Skyfox is just going to let it slide through and wait and bank up those ultimates for this very third push. Wisely, I would say they swap their entire composition so they know they're behind.
5 minutes and 37 seconds for XL2 Academy. They do have pretty much 6 ultimates. They got the full 6 packs we like to hear from Overwatch League. Skyfoxes have the 2, but now Jur's going to be taken. Oh, actually, Cloman's going to be the one that's taken very low. They're going to keep that Earth Shatter, and now the ultimates are coming. Logix has that Graviton Surge, Self-Destruct. We all get nothing. Sound Barrier now for XL2. Going to get everyone who is still alive on those 5. Pikachu getting Luna. Mangachu, one of the more offensive breaks that we have seen today. I'm loving watching it so far because he is absolutely in their face, asserting his dominance.
No fear from this Brigitte. You cannot play her scared. Mangachu ready with that rally as well. Skyfoxes may not even be able to touch.
Oh, I like the boop up in the air. They were able to touch the payload, but the positioning from D.Va is not going to help them out, as Clarence and Dutze are going to be the ones that go down first. Cloman doing some work on this payload. Graviton Surge not going to do anything because there's no follow-up damage available for Skyfox. XL2 have all 6 members, and they will be finishing this out. XL2 Academy win it in the end. They go up 2-0 against Skyfoxes.
Yeah, some may say that it was an inevitability, but Skyfox is certainly putting up a very strong defense and at times a really good offense. They look the most comfortable on off-meta picks, so really going to be curious how that's going to carry on throughout the rest of the series. I would say XL2, after that control map where it looked really dodgy on Gardens, kind of waking up, and as you said, Boop, not going to be, coffee, this caffeine finally starting to kick in, and they're not going to be resting on their laurels. They're going to be giving every single one of these fights their all.
Yeah, and that's exactly, it was a wake-up call, right? That's what coffee does for you. XL2 also managing their ultimates way better than Skyfoxes so far. Skyfoxes know what they have to do with them. Oh, you throw the grab and then the self-destruct, but it's when and how to do it. There are better percentages as to where you even are on the map that they need to learn in order to be a little bit more effective with their ultimate economy.
Yeah, it is about getting, that value. Shopping at, Walmart, they have some good deals, just gonna say. But Skyfoxes, they do seem to still be trying to get some of those elements of the team to gel. It's one thing to know how to run Goats, like you said, in a textbook version. It's another to experience it with your teammates who, maybe for the first time you're working on these different roles. And I do believe that we're going to start seeing some of those combos come through a little bit more consistently for the side of Skyfoxes, the more that they get into this series.
Well, they are playing with a new lineup. There are some people who are missing right now, but Skyfoxes and Clarence has been an interesting story. Look best on that Pharah. Everyone else, that McCree and that Brig, did struggle a bit. No high noon for Claris on that defense here on Nimbani. XL2, again, complete control. They're playing Goats very, very well. They woke up on that first round and haven't really struggled since.
Yeah, oh no, I was hurting Goats. I was hurting Goats long before you touched a keyboard. Seems to be the message that XL2 Academy are sending right here. Even when Clone Man brought so incredibly low, Lucio was absolutely ready to drop the sound barrier, save his team, and not only that, set up that self-destruct kill from Wooyal. So XL2 able to kind of, you know, double fist the offense and the defense with every move.
And so we're going to enter halftime here really quickly. I want everyone to watch that Kalios 4K on those clips. I'm sure it was clipped at some point because that was absolutely beautiful. That Wooyal 2K was a little less, you know, exciting because of it, even though it was more impactful in the end. But hey, everyone, we are here at halftime. XL2 is ahead of Skyfoxes 2-0. We'll see you in about 6 minutes.